Growing up, I had my first phone when I was in, I think that was either SS2 or SS3. At that time, I was either 15 or 16 years old, thereabout. That was when I actually had my first phone. Now, this phone was not a phone. It was not like an that is not an actual phone. Anyways, I could majorly just use it to make and receive calls, which I think is the major essence of a phone, right? Well, I didn't have that much access to the internet or to social media and all of that. So I still had to go to the cafe whenever I needed to do an assignment or browse on something, well, usually mostly assignments. So I would still have to go to the cafe, buy airtime. I don't think the Gen Zs can relate. You buy airtime for your data, like you could use to browse for a couple of minutes, or if it's 1 hour, and once that one finish, I have to buy another one again. Anyways, yeah, I still had to do all that, despite the fact that I had a phone. Compare that time to now. A child of 4 or 5 years old would most likely have an idea or two on how to go about operating an Android phone. This is not even Nokia, is it 330 or what do they even call it? This Nokia that the two hands are always shaking each other. Not that kind of phone, like an Android phone. They could find their way around an Android phone, a child of 4 or 5 years old. Now, what does this tell us, or what do we get from this? I would say we could see the fact that information is now very, very easy to get. Information is is like it's literally at your fingertips, right? So both the good, the bad, the ugly, the unnecessary, and the necessary information that just staring at you right in the face, whether you want them or not. And we all know that this world is literally already a digital world, whether you like it or not. Like, that is what it is. It is what it is already, right? So every child right now has that, let me say, 90 to 95% chances of being exposed to the internet, to social media at a very young and tender age. Now, bringing this down to the topic of sex, this really makes me get to ask this question: is sex education important? And now I'm asking that because, as I said, information is now so easy to get, both the good, the bad, and the ugly. And whether they want this information or not, it's still staring at them right in the face. And a lot of them could get misinformed about this topic of sex, and they could be forced to indulge in it willingly or forcefully. Sex education. So is that really important for kids, for teenagers? Is it important, or everybody should just face front and mind their business and make everybody just do their day? Or we should actually talk about this more often? So for me, I think sex education is very important, even for kids. So you don't exactly have to wait until maybe when the child is 15, 16, 17, 18. No, by then it might actually be too late. So it's best to start early as you can, even from as little as 3 years old. Yes, it is possible. Well, in another video, I'll be talking about that, how to educate a child about sex and for different age group. Today, I'll just be sharing with you some reasons why I think sex education is very important. So the first thing I would say is, one thing it does is that it makes a child become more aware of their body, and to also practice having a good self-image about them. Another thing this does is helps them know when to create boundaries. Yes, especially when it comes to touching. They get to learn what kind of touch is not a safe touch. They get to learn places that are and should stay private to them. They get to learn this. So having to create boundaries and stick to these boundaries is one thing they will definitely learn while they're being educated about sex. Another reason why sexual education is important is that it helps kids, teenagers, even adults make wise sexual decisions. Yes, it does. And it makes kids become more aware of, the physical and emotional changes. I remember when growing up, there was this period where I used to feel shy of walking on the road, like walking on the street. So I would always just fold my arms, and sometimes if it's on my way to school, I will use my school bag, like just wear it at the front rather than at the back. And that is because I noticed, obviously, there were changes in my body, and I'm like, oh my, I don't want anybody to see this. I just started feeling so uncomfortable and shy. Sometimes I didn't even like to run because I just didn't want to feel somehow. But thank God I got to know that you're fine, you're okay. Everything is fine and perfect with you. It's a normal thing. It's growth. It's a normal thing that's supposed to happen with your body, a normal change that's supposed to happen with your body. Thank God I got to learn that. Another very important thing, which I think will be the last thing I'll be sharing here, is it reduces the chances of STIs and STDs, that is sexual transmitted infections and sexual transmitted diseases. And this is because it encourages sexual gratification. I really need to say it again. It encourages sexual gratification because in this time and age, it feels like when a person says, oh, I'm a virgin, they get this look of, are you fine? Are you okay? That's weird. Are you normal? And that individual will start feeling so, left out, will start feeling like the odd one out. And to change this, or to change the status quo, they would eventually, or for some, they eventually give into the pressure of wanting to feel among. And most times due to FOMO, that's the fear of missing out, they get to fall into this, and who knows how things might eventually turn out for them. I don't know. But anyways, it encourages sexual gratification. On that note, I would like to tell you that I have more points on this because the list is actually very long. It is very long. And I actually have an article written about this. I'll share the link with you in the description below. Make sure you do check it out for more reasons why sexual education is extremely important. And you can do also share your views, your thoughts, your opinions, your 2 cents or 3 cents or 4 cents on why you think sexual education is very, very important. Till I come your way again, I still remain Judith Obazele. Stay safe and be fine. Toodles!